10 years ago, I set off on a journey, a quest that would take me across continents, through deserts, mountains, and forgotten ruins. What began as a search for traces of the ancient world soon became something far greater. My path eventually led me here, to Andalusia, a land of breathtaking beauty and ancient complexity, where every valley hides a story and every shadow conceals a secret. Through the use of satellite scans and remote sensing, we uncovered hundreds of archaeological sites scattered across this landscape, silent witnesses of civilizations long past. But every so often, our instruments revealed something different, structures and patterns that didn't fit into the known world of archaeology. Mysterious forms etched into the earth, mesmerizing in their design and origin.
Let's just say, for argument's sake, that the lower temple got knocked down in a flood.
This land, with its tangled history of endless wonders, has kept us searching ever since.
In 2016, we started a 5-year process of filming and scanning the entire coastline, from Gibraltar to Portugal and everything in between. In 2018, a huge storm swept through the area, clearing away tons and tons of sand, and in the process, revealing what Tim said laid here the whole time. We're told that humans were running around with sticks drawing figures in the mud. Seems that that history that we've been taught isn't exactly accurate.
One of our early finds was a series of strange circular formations. At first glance, they seemed ancient, almost ceremonial. But as we investigated further, they revealed themselves to be threshing circles, the remnants of centuries-old farming practice. Structures not of temples or tombs, but of toil, where generations of farmers once separated wheat from the chaff beneath the Andalusian sun. Of all the places we've studied, few have captured our imagination quite like the Doñana National Park. Long ago, this was an inland sea, a vast expanse of water that, over the millennia, gave way to marshlands, dunes, and one of Europe's most pristine wildernesses. Yet beneath its muddy surface lie traces of a forgotten world, structures and shapes that whisper of something ancient that once stood here. Today, the Doñana draws hundreds of thousands of visitors each year. Pilgrims on horseback cross the river Guadalquivir during the legendary Romería del Rocío, a spectacle of faith, color, and endurance that echoes through the centuries. Among the hundreds of formations we documented, one group stood apart. A set of enormous oval-shaped patterns carved into the earth, nearly 100 of them stretching across a remote section of the park. These were no ordinary features. They seemed deliberate, intentional.
One of our dear friends and colleagues is the director of the Doñana National Park, and with his excellent supervision and guidance, we're going to get a first-hand look at some structures never before seen. Right behind this stretch of dunes is what was identified perhaps in the 1930s as having been the original site of Tartessos. It's an extraordinary reality that we have at our fingertips, the ability to peer through the sands and see these artificial structures that have laid dormant here for millennia, untouched. And now, with the help of erosion and weather conditions, these ancient structures are re-emerging, and we are now finding them for the first time since they were destroyed.
To walk or ride through this national park is to journey through time itself. A world of light and water where the horizon never ends. It's a privilege to explore such a place, a sanctuary of wild beauty, layered with mystery and best experienced on horseback. This is the middle of the Doñana National Park, one of the most mysterious places on Earth. And this very same place, 12,000 years ago, wasn't land. It was water. Our work here is entirely non-invasive. Using advanced scanning technologies, we can uncover what lies hidden without ever disturbing the ground beneath our feet.
So this is a very interesting spot because it's the only place in the Doñana National Park that has recognized archaeological site.
Schulte, creo que estuvo, ¿no? Alemán aquí, estuvo estudiando esto.
Esto era aquí, en este sitio.
Over the ages, this landscape has transformed beyond recognition. The Romans once called the inland sea Lagus Ligustinus. And as recently as 2,000 years ago, ships still sailed these waters. Long before that, in the time of the Tartessians, it was even greater, the Tartessian Gulf, stretching beyond the limits of today's Sevilla. In fact, the foundations of today's city of Sevilla were non-existent 3,000 years ago, as they would have been under the waters of this ancient inland sea. Beneath these marshes, the mud conceals the outlines of forgotten structures, foundations of lost settlements, the hulls of ships swallowed by time. Our scanning techniques allow us to tease artificial artifacts out of drone and satellite imagery, giving us an indication of what once stood here. In the case of the Doñana National Park, this comes in very handy, as physical and intrusive digs are highly prohibited. The fact that this region has been host to many ancient civilizations is not in doubt. It is something well known and documented. To those who know how to look, the past is everywhere. And yet, what we were about to find around the next bend would leave us more curious than ever before. From above, the landscape unfolded into a vision of immense oval formations, like celestial patterns imprinted upon the earth. 96 colossal rings stretching across the plains, invisible from the ground, yet unmistakable from the air. At first, we wondered if nature herself had carved them, but standing beside one of these giants, we realized just how deliberate and enormous they truly were. Later research revealed the astonishing truth. These shapes were man-made, not ancient, but recent. Created in 2003 in the aftermath of an environmental disaster, scientists had etched these vast ovals into the soil to study the effect of toxic chemicals that had leaked into the Doñana's waterways. A modern experiment hidden within one of Europe's oldest landscapes. What first appeared as ancient geoglyphs turned out to be the marks of science, yet no less mysterious or awe-inspiring.
In 1997, there was a big, terrible pollution event that happened when one of the local mines leaked tons of toxic waste into the waterways of the Doñana. So apparently those structures were built in 2003 in order to try to understand how bad this toxic waste spill really was. I do find it a bit weird that they built those things here, though. Out of all places, they built those circular features. Has nothing to do with the above landscape. It's all very strange.
We returned to the site several times throughout the year. Sometimes the circles shimmered with water, quiet mirrors reflecting the sky. Other times they lay dry and ghostly, etched into the earth like messages meant for the heavens. Their sheer scale was humbling, spreading across more than 30 square kilometers. I could easily see why stories of alien visitations or ancient civilizations might arise here.
See a lot of shells and stuff, don't you?
You know what, man? It's been a year since we first came here. When we first came here, we didn't know what these were.
Whatever their purpose, these forms remain amongst the most peculiar and mesmerizing structures I've ever encountered. Sometimes, in the pursuit of archaeology, you stumble upon things you could never have imagined. And even when they turn out to be something completely different, something modern, unexpected, or accidental, they still remind us of the beauty of discovery itself. Because exploration isn't just about finding the past, it's about embracing the wonder of the unknown. And in that sense, the world will always have its weirder things.